Welcome to Love in the South podcast, episode 30. It's been another week. More shit has happened. We got some Netflix cutie shit. We got, Trump should get a third term. We got a lot of AOC shit, DNC convention this week. But
and
first,
other hot news.
Yes,
brought to you by Left in the South.
Yes, but first, of course, every week we got to plug the shit, right? It only makes sense.
Of course.
Twitter. If you're not following it, what are you doing? YouTube. We just hit 100 subscribers. Firstly, I want to say thank you to everyone who is subscribed to our YouTube channel. We don't post enough content in there as we should, but I appreciate everyone who's watching the podcast that was on YouTube. I'm really trying to grow the YouTube channel right now. And lastly,
thank you.
Patreon. We have 4 patrons right now, and I love each and every one of them. I think about them every night before I go to bed. Those individuals, Tim, Grunt980, Zion, and James. These people I love, and I appreciate your constant support.
Now on to the news.
I don't know. How are you doing, Caleb?
Wait, what?
I'm asking how are you doing? Like,
I'm doing great, man.
I always ask you how you're doing, bro. I'm
doing good, man. First week of school, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. That also happened too.
So
it's fun.
I have news about going to campus, right?
Yes,
right.
yes.
I just want to say going to campus right now is certifiable idiocy. You know what I mean?
True.
And I have been.
I'm sorry to all the people who aren't able to go to
seriously
online, have all their online classes.
I've seen so many takes online about how if you don't want to go to college, just don't go. Just take a year off. Are these people
just
fucking brain diseased? Just take a year off. What am I supposed to do? Start paying my fucking student loans?
Right?
Hello? My $20,000 in loans after 3.5 years, with no degree? What, am I going to work at fucking Kroger again? Give me a break, man.
True.
What a dumb ass take. So yeah, I've been struggling. I'm doing okay. I'm happy.
Dude,
I'm healthy,
I'm surprised. But we live in the South, dude, and
yeah.
I wasn't surprised that there wasn't a mandatory go to school. If you don't go to school,
right.
We're gonna take away your fucking student loans. We're gonna fill you're gonna fill your classes. You won't be able to fucking get out of them.
Yeah.
But no, I was graciously able to get all my classes online.
Yeah, that's really lucky. I was able to.
I actually have a really funny story about one of the professors that I talked to. I think I told you the other day, but I want to say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, don't you have things to talk about your Corona shit? Or are we done?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just insane. People are trying to get us to come in. I've had to talk to so many professors, 2 specifically, of me signing up for classes, who just don't seem to understand why I don't want to come in. It feels like I'm talking to a child, honestly. I emailed this professor. I don't want to say her name, but she's an economics professor, and and I emailed her saying I'm concerned about the risk. Are you planning on offering a fully online thing for this class? Because a lot of classes are offering students to take it online if they don't want to come in. So I asked because I didn't want to drop the class, and she was and she just sent me a 1-sentence response saying, "Are you close enough to come in for the first class?" I'm okay, obviously you didn't get the point of what I was trying to say. So I was frankly, I'm concerned about the risk. I don't plan on coming into any class. This is my only in-person class, and I don't want to put myself at risk just for an hour every week, It doesn't make sense really for me. It just doesn't make sense. And she's well, we're actually only going to be meeting half in person and half online. So it's a lot safer. I'm I don't understand what you mean.
Dude.
Just tell me if you're going to allow an online portion of the class so I can fucking drop the class if you're not. These boomers literally want to fucking die, man. They want to die. They're lining up to die.
They do. They really do.
It's insane. And before you tell your story, I just want to say, if you're a student, I need you to realize, the university has a lot more control over your life than you think. Because, you don't get to make free choices. It's not because you can't. It's because it doesn't make sense. If I wanted to just take a year off, the financial burden I would be taking on by doing that is so ridiculously worse than me, just taking online courses or reducing my hours. Like everything else is not as bad as that. So it means I can't drop out. It's not possible for me to drop out, you know? It's not a
Yeah.
choice. People are pretending like it's a choice, but if it were a choice, I would just fucking drop out. It's obviously not. I don't have an option to do that. It's a really idiotic thing
True.
to say, honestly.
Yeah, and like taking a whole year off from academics, like
Yeah.
you're asking to fuck yourself. Like
Yes,
especially
exactly.
if like your shit's like really you have to use a lot of like critical fucking like shit that you've
Yes.
you've
Imagine
learned.
how much math you forget over summer break in high school. Imagine doing that, but for like a fucking graduate degree, or like, I mean, even an undergrad degree. Like, if you're not an amazing student, if you're not a very studious person, like, you forget that shit. And that's me. I'm talking about myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to remember how to do stats in a year.
Yeah.
Like, unless my job uses it. And I don't know. It's really annoying. But I like your story better because it's a lot more lighthearted. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's, you know, obviously our sleeping schedules have been fucking shit. You know, I tweeted about it the other day. It's completely backwards, you know. So I was like, you know, chilling up at 8:30 in the morning. You know, usually people wake up around this time, but you know, I haven't gotten to bed yet. Still up. And I get an email from one of our professors saying like, by the way, like this is where the classes take place, and you know, it's on Microsoft Teams. And I was like, oh shit, like it was at like 8:34. I'm like, am I missing a class right now? Like, did he send this shit up because like there's class right now and like I'm not there for some reason because I didn't get a notification or something? And I go to the Microsoft Teams and I see him in there and I'm like, oh shit, there's a class right now and I'm missing it. So I couldn't tell, like you could see if there was other people in there. I didn't know if there was like other people in there or not. So I joined and he's like, hello? And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I type in the Microsoft Teams is kind of like Discord. There's like a fucking general and shit. So I type in the general chat. I'm like, hello, is there a class right now? And he's like, no, there isn't a class right now. And I'm like, he was in there because he was waiting for another. He was waiting for another.
You and him.
I don't know why you think there's something like weird with that.
It's weird. It's fucking weird.
And then
it is, dude.
He was saying like he was waiting
with only one person.
I mean, I didn't know. He was saying he was waiting for another student to come by because they wanted to talk about the class. They had like a problem with the class because like they think he's like a bad teacher or professor or something like that. Because I had him last year, and the dude, like, I'm sorry, like, maybe I was like, confused over where the fuck this guy was, but he was legitimately AFK for half the semester.
What do you mean? Like AFK?
So, like, during, like, May, like, around, like, late May, like, all my assignments just stopped getting graded. Like, they just stopped getting graded. And then, like, people, there's, like, a chat in, like, Canvas where, like, people message each other and, like, they're like, yeah, I've been trying to message him, no response. And, like, the type in general, like, in the chat, like, they have questions about their shit because, like, either something's not working or, like, they don't know how to do it. Because, like, we have labs that are, like, instructed, but sometimes, like I had problems and, like, I was, like, fucking Googling shit. Like, why isn't this not working? Like, typing the error code, like to no avail because these are on virtual machines. So it's not, like, it's, like, kind of really hard to troubleshoot.
Right.
And,
definitely.
Yeah, but, like, he was AFK all last semester, and I guess, like, he was, you know, getting complaints about that.
So what did you say when you like got in there? Like once you realized it wasn't a class, like did you just fucking dip or
no?
What?
So I didn't want to dip instantly because I didn't want to seem rude. And this is like the first time I'm meeting this guy.
He can see your name,
and it's like he knows whose it is. He fucking already ID'd me, right? I can't just bounce without saying hello.
He gave me an ocular pat down.
Yeah,
assessed the threat level, determined that I was a beta male.
So he was like, but I like genuinely had questions, like a question about the class, because like I didn't know when the fuck we met.
What class was it, by the way?
It's like network, like networking. It's like it's a network class. It's for fucking servers and shit, like Microsoft servers. But I don't fucking remember the class name. But like I was like, when are we supposed to meet? Because like the reason why like I didn't show up to like it's because there was a class and I fucking did miss it. But it was
you didn't even tell me this.
It was like a whole day ago. But like, you know, there's no attendance required. But like, because it said he canceled the meeting. So I'm like, oh, there's no lecture then, right? But we actually found this out in that call, like that he actually did fucking forget to set like the meeting time to send everyone a notification that there was a class on that day.
So you actually didn't know.
I actually didn't know, and he's like, fuck, that was on me. He was actually pretty chill pretty chill guy. He's like, basically, as minorities do when we congregate, talking about how hard it is to be a minority. He was like, he was like talking about how like since he's like a Puerto Rican black professor, these fucking whiteys, obviously clowning on him, saying like he's a bad teacher because he's brown, right?
Right. Yeah.
And we were just talking. He's a fucking lib though. Like
as is every professor, man. That myth about Marxist professors, man, triggers me more than anything.
He's
he's
a Christian and shit. So like well, I mean, he's against abortion and
sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah, but he's. I mean, he's all right. Like he said it was like but I can still get someone gives me like a good argument. I'm willing to believe.
You know what, David? I'm gonna say a hot take.
Hot take.
A man is not the sum of his bad takes.
True. Unless you're a centrist.
True, because every take is a bad take then.
Yeah, but basically, we broed out for like 30 minutes, fixed his shit. Apparently he worked on Microsoft Team. And I was like,
oh yeah, you were saying he's like a developer or something.
Yeah, he worked on
That's insane.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to fucking use it.
That's why he fucking uses that shit. Because I was thinking when you were telling me, I'm like, dude, just fucking use Discord. Like, what? Why not just like start a Discord
He's a gamer,
server?
dude. He was sharing his screen, like showing me like this shit, and I saw on his Chrome tab he was watching a League of Legends video.
What a fucking degenerate.
I mean, AOC plays League of Legends, bro. I mean, I'm not anyone is a league player these days.
Yeah.
Except
by the way, just so people don't think I'm using this unironically, I wanted to ask you a question about your opinion about the mommy shit. Like, do you think it's cringe or not cringe?
I mean, like, I think it's funny. Like, if you're using it in like a funny manner, but like, people who are using it unironically and like, I think it's kind of fucking weird. Yeah,
I think I have to agree, man. I've been noticing it a lot more recently, like with the comrades under 1K thing. Like basically every woman I follow now that like dares to post pictures of themselves on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of shit 24/7, which is I felt like it's really
well,
it really
like,
makes me
in their comments like mommy milkies.
Yeah, like I don't want to get offended on behalf of women that I don't really know. So I'm not like obviously I'm not gonna say anything, but like to me it would make me uncomfortable if someone posted that shit on my picture.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Like it's really fucking weird. And if you are a comrade and you do this shit, I'm just saying it's very questionable behavior.
It's cringe. It's definitely cringe. I don't know if I don't know if I would go as far as to say like people are being malicious, but like it's definitely cringe, and I don't know. Objectifying women is pretty cringe, so maybe just don't do that. Yeah.
If you're an incel, maybe try not to be.
Yeah. But I'm glad you met a cool professor,
man. They're kind of like us.
Are they?
Yeah, they're kind of like us.
They're kind of like us. A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Jesus, man.
But
yeah, I'm glad.
It's been a 13-minute intro. I'm down to get.
This is not an intro, bro. We're recapping. No cap.
Recap. You gotta talk about the week, man.
Exactly. There's been a lot going on recently, but speaking of things going on, why don't we just go ahead and move right into the sauce, man? Why don't you take us into the first topic?
So recently, there's been a war between Epic Games and Apple. Epic Games being Fortnite, of course, everyone's favorite video game.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, but recently, what started this war? Epic Games dropped the bombshell of making it their V-Bucks. If you know what V-Bucks are, is a digital currency used in Fortnite to buy the battle pass and skins in the game, cosmetics. And they made it cheaper,
such as dabbing.
Yeah, they made it cheaper on the game, and didn't change the price in the store. And it was 30%. So Apple wanted the 30% basically, and they're like, "What the fuck? Where's my money?" Yeah,
and there's been some developments in the story. So
this was old stage too. They dropped a 1984 cinematic like as soon as they did it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you haven't seen it?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like this 1980.
Fun of the fact that they were.
Yeah, this is like this 1984. Yeah, and like
that's crazy.
They throw like a pick at the screen, type shit.
Okay, that's pretty cringe. But that's funny though.
Yeah, really so it was planned. Like they knew like some shit was about to happen.
Well, yeah, because they probably were having discussions with Apple about it beforehand, and like the reason that they dropped is because Apple didn't agree. And actually, I know this is true because Tim Cook like went on Twitter and basically said like, well, the reason we like he was calling out quote unquote Epic for being like for pretending like it was Apple doing something wrong, and he was saying things like Epic asked for special deals and special privileges, and saying like how like implying that that's a bad thing. That's literally what fucking capitalism is, my man. Like let's not pretend that Apple has never done anything like that. Like you're literally doing that by removing Epic from the store because you're swinging your dick around. You know what I mean? You're saying, you know, we're willing to drop you because we don't give a shit. To us, you're nothing. You know, we're Apple. I don't give a fuck if you're on our store. So you have to do what we say. Epic is literally doing the same thing by saying, you know, we're not willing to sacrifice this if you don't allow us to do this, and we're going to leave your service. And Epic can do that because Fortnite is an insanely popular and successful game, you know?
Yeah.
It's very ironic for Apple to like use that as justification to be like, oh, they're doing something wrong. That's literally your business model, you fucking twerp.
Yeah.
Like, come on, how can you not see that?
I think it's fucked that like even having like an Apple phone that you can only get apps from one location.
Yeah. People don't see the problem with that. It's really weird to me.
Yeah.
You know?
It
I love, like,
is.
I'm not going to lie. I have an iPhone, right? And I love my iPhone. It's really good and it works perfectly. It does everything I want. And the UI is amazing. I really prefer iOS to Android, like, because I've used it so often and I'm familiar with it. But I often, like, think it's kind of fucking weird that I literally have no control over this device, you know? Like, Apple literally controls everything, like, the whole infrastructure of this device. I don't actually own it. Like, I own the technology that it's running on, but the actual software and device itself, I don't own that. That belongs to Apple.
I have an Android,
weird.
but like not by choice. Like it's just like one of the like phones that I like first got, so like I just kind of stuck with it. So like I had a preference between like Apple or Android. But I mean, it's definitely fucking weird that like, you know, you're locked out of your own device essentially.
Yeah,
you have to fucking, you know, you have to hack it if you want to like, you know, actually have some like power over your device, right?
Yeah, I want to talk about this phenomenon a little bit because, like, do you also think that, like, when you're renting something, it feels like it's worth a lot less to you than it is when you buy it? Like, I don't know how to give you an example. Like, I'll spend $60.
You feel like you own it less?
Yeah, exactly. You feel like you own it less,
mean,
like, because eventually you might not have access to it, you know? I have this problem with games a lot. Like, I'll spend $60 on Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever because I'm really excited about it on Steam, right? But the Xbox Game Pass, even though it's $5, I've literally for months I've like been convincing myself like, oh, it's just renting. Like I'm gonna lose access to these games. Why would I pay $5? Even though I'm paying $5 for access to over like $5,000 worth of AAA games, you know?
For like the Game Pass and stuff like that. For me, it doesn't. It feels like I don't even know. Like it feels like I'm borrowing it from my friends. Like yeah, bro, I'll give you $5. Let me take that game for the weekend, all right?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't, but you know, I feel like I get my use out of it. You know, for $5.
Yeah, and that's true because like, how often do you pick up a game like that you played 10 years ago or 5 years ago or something? Like, pretty much never, right? Like, really, it's not a danger that you're gonna lose access to the game because, like, I mean, ultimately, you know, not to, glorify piracy, but I mean ultimately even if you don't own it, like you can find a way to get it. You know, you're never not gonna have access to
I think the only reason why I even buy games is for achievements.
Same, actually. I love achievements.
I love getting achievements. That dopamine, you can't get anywhere else.
So the ultimate thing about the Fortnite thing, what do you think? Like, is it stupid as hell? Like, I think it's fucking stupid.
It's definitely stupid, and apparently, you know, it's only growing, right? They banned Epic.
Yep. They banned all Epic like software
the Unreal
from their
Engine,
things.
right?
Yeah, the Unreal Engine,
which is a huge engine.
That's actually a big deal. Yeah, that is actually a big deal because there are a lot of games that aren't even associated with Fortnite that utilize this engine. So, you know, that's actually kind of a dick move on Apple's part.
It seems like Apple's just like, all right, we gotta bully these people until they fucking break to our whim.
Yeah, but I mean, Apple wouldn't be what Apple is if they weren't willing to do that.
So. Yeah. Yes.
So yeah.
But let's get into fucking politics here. Enough of these video games. Enough of these soy boy video games. Who plays video games? These nerd shit, dude. Who plays video games?
Real men follow politics on Twitter all day.
Hell yeah. Anyway, going back to the real meat and potatoes, right? Politics. All right, dude. Trump is finally doing what he said he was going to do. And he is finally making Mexico pay for the border wall.
Hell yes, brother.
So if you don't know, recently Trump vowed to put tolls on cars coming into the U.S., forcing Mexico to, quote unquote, pay for the border wall, right? Forcing the people coming in from Mexico to pay a toll to eventually pay for the wall.
Right. So basically, if you drive from Mexico to the U.S., you have to pay $5 or something to get in. That's interesting. I mean,
over a century,
weird.
And then the wall finally get paid for over.
I don't know, because how many cars drive from Mexico to the U.S.
But the toll, imagine how much it cost to build the wall. Wasn't it a shit ton of fucking money?
Oh yeah, it was $10 or $15 billion.
Getting $1,000 a day, in toll tax.
I think it's more. I think you're underestimating, because wouldn't the burden fall mainly on shipping companies? Because they would ship goods from the south, and drive to the U.S. right, on a truck or something.
I don't know.
Wouldn't
I don't know. I don't know the trade. Maybe it
is
might
that
be
a
huge.
thing? I don't know. Me neither. Honestly.
Maybe the trucks going from Mexico. Yeah, maybe it might be big.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I mean, ultimately, that price would find a way back to the American.
But you think if it can't be a lot of trucks, because wouldn't just taking a ship?
Why not?
From the coast would be cheaper?
I don't know. Is that faster? Is that better?
All shit? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, because we have companies like FedEx in the U.S. that already have full infrastructure on how to deliver logistics and stuff, right? It would make sense for them to expand over the borders.
I don't know. But I don't know. I'm not a truckologist.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with this particular field, but it would make sense. And I think
if you're a trucker, let us know.
But if that were the case, ironically, a lot of it would fall onto Americans, because American companies would have to pay these tolls, and also other, also Mexican companies, and also other countries as well. But probably mainly American companies would be paying the toll, because we're just by nature of being rich as fuck, we're doing more business than Mexican people are.
Yeah, but toll incoming. Mexico's finally gonna pay for it.
Hell yeah. Do you that just makes no sense, man? It's almost not even worth our
it's
fucking
not. It's
time
probably not. It's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Seems like Trump always just says shit, bro.
Is there anything stopping the next president from just being elected and being like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore? There's no reason for them to continue it, right?
I mean, shit gets reverted, during presidencies. Donald Trump wanted to get rid of Obamacare. I
mean, but Obama continued. I know that we're not big fans of Obama, right? But
Obama.
The border, the fucking what are they called? Concentration camps that we have on the border.
Yes.
Those started being constructed under Bush, and Obama just continued constructing them, and also continued developing and refunding ICE. You know what I mean? Even though he was ostensibly supposed to be a liberal.
Dems also hate minorities for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. A lot of people aren't ready for that take, but I definitely agree. But it's just weird. I don't know if I trust the next president to stop that.
And also, it seems Biden, Democrats are very they're very submissive, bro, to the Republican Party.
Exactly. They'll say things like, "It makes sense for us to play politics here." They love using this term, play politics. We're gonna concede this major thing because we're playing politics, and then they never get anything in return.
We gotta put the ball in their court for a little bit, and they'll put it back in our court.
Exactly, and then they never get anything in return.
And then they keep the ball, bro. They keep the ball forever, bro. They don't let us play.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the entire point, and they just they love it. They actually love it. Yeah, but I don't know.
God,
speaking
of fucking Dems, dude. AOC recently, finally got her 90 seconds. At the DNC, and she used it to nominate Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, strange. And I love how on Twitter, all of these political pundits are like, guys, I swear that's totally normal. It's totally normal for literally one of the most popular politicians in the world, by the way. It's totally normal for them to just go against party lines and just not mention the main candidate at all. No, it's not fucking normal. Obviously, it's not.
Fuck yeah, it was fucking. She blew up though. You know, there was a lot of people. A lot of people were talking about AOC the next day.
Yeah.
You know, even
Yeah.
saying like, basically trying to cover up for the DNC. You know, so, yeah, like you said, it was saying it was like normal, right?
Yeah.
People were just outright lying too.
Yeah, they're literally lying. It's not normal. I mean, like, of course, historically, there are like members of the Democratic Party, such as Bernie Sanders himself, that don't necessarily agree with like the mainstream view of the party. But like, it is absolutely not normal for young and upcoming like socialist leaning politicians to outright denounce the front running candidate in a presidential race. That's obviously not common. And also, I want to say, like, can we just talk about how ridiculous it is that, like, she only got 90 seconds to speak? Do you realize how small of a time that is? How long have we been recording so far?
We've been recording for 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. She got 1/30th plus 30 seconds of that. You know?
Yeah,
that's like,
it's
our
crazy.
intro was 13 minutes long.
Yeah.
You know?
For real.
Fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Republicans spoke longer than AOC at the DNC convention.
Exactly. Yeah, Biden got a few minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, Biden originally wasn't going to show up, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
It's absolutely crazy.
I don't know what else to say. Like, what do you think about this? Her like nominating Bernie. What do you think about that?
I think it's.
Do you trust AOC? Like, do you think that she's like an ally?
I mean, she definitely fights for the people like more than anybody else, any other representative, right?
So far, yeah.
And she's a good speaker.
Yeah. And I don't know, she's so young too. Like that, I'm just worried that like I don't want to get like emotionally invested in AOC, you know? Because I made this mistake with Bernie, and I think it was because I was becoming the person I am today, right? Like before Bernie, I was a liberal, you know? So like I was going through a huge change in my life at the time, but I made a mistake of becoming really emotionally invested in him, and it really hurt when he didn't succeed. And like he became kind of the person that I really didn't want him to become, you know, like very liberal. And I don't know, that hurt. And I'm kind of like nervous now about hoping that AOC is better because I don't want to be disappointed again. Do you think it's worth getting invested in people like her? Or no?
I don't know. Like we have so much time. Like we who knows what is gonna happen in the next 8 years?
Yeah.
You know, there might be a whole new fucking country. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like a doomer, and I don't want to imply that I think like, oh, every politician is just
Should
scum
we even bother with bourgeois electoralism though?
No, I mean no. Dude, you're actually like out chatting me right now. That's crazy. Usually you're the one with the lib takes, bro. I'm over here like advocating for Maoism and shit, bro. Why you got to do that to me?
I'm sorry. It is what it is. You know, as Trump said.
It is what it is. I think you're absolutely right, but like I don't know, some part of me wants to be invested in it, but I definitely agree with you.
I mean,
like some part of me wants to hope that all of this can just resolve itself. You know,
there's a big leftist YouTuber that you know.
Are we really gonna name drop him? Yeah, Vosh.
You know, he's been going off, you know, about this topic in general, saying like, you know, should. You know, is it possible to see progress through, you know, our political system currently?
Yeah. Right. And I have to say, I've been very disappointed with his takes recently. He's very, like, I don't know, like, I have a lot of sympathy for people who are, like, vote for Biden, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of them really are, like, great people. And I think that I even would say, like, good for you. Like, okay, yeah, go vote for Biden. Like, you're doing your thing, you know? But it's like, I don't know, as a leftist and as a person like Vosh, I don't understand like how you can have so much political education and stuff and then still think that we're going to achieve major change through electoral politics. Like, I totally concede that we can definitely make small, minor changes, improve our quality of life in the short term. I definitely agree that that's possible.
Do you think?
But like, as far as toppling capitalism, that's never going to happen.
Do you think Marx or Lenin would have voted for Bernie, or would have voted for Biden?
No, absolutely not. Of course not. No. And this idea, Lenin literally, I hate Vosh saying this, was probably one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. Like, Lenin literally spent his entire political career talking about how people like even people like Bernie Sanders. He was talking about how they were so damaging to the party that he was even advocating at the time for things like preemptive imprisonment of people like this because he saw them as such a danger to the movement. Like I don't necessarily agree with his take on
Oh
that,
yes,
but I'm
Bernie
just saying
was very
like
far right.
right, like saying
Compared to
that
London.
Lyndon would have supported Biden is absolutely fucking like laughable to me.
Yeah, because Bernie is like an appeasement to the Capitol.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
sock them. Right.
Right. And Lyndon was concerned
Sock
that
them still
doing that
believe in
is actually
capitalism.
worse. Like he genuinely floated ideas about the fact that that may actually be worse than just allowing fascism to take over. Because when fascism takes over, it leads to its own demise because that's part of fascism. It leads to its own demise. But he and other people, including Trotsky, later were concerned that neoliberalism may never cause its own demise. Like in theory, capitalism always fails because it's part of capitalism. But neoliberalism kind of like has a way of making the time scale on that extremely long. So maybe capitalism will fail no matter what, but it takes like 1,000 generations instead of just a few, you know? So like avoiding neoliberalism may actually be more important than avoiding fascism. Like I'm never going to advocate for fascism or neoliberalism, but like I'm never going to advocate for either. And I think, I don't know, it's weird to like see neoliberalism as a middle ground. I don't see that. I think it's very close. It's much closer to fascism than we'd like to admit, you know?
Yeah. I feel like, he's really caused a divide in online leftists right now.
Yeah.
You know, you have the Marxist Bidenists, you know, versus the lefties.
God, I hate this. No, stop.
Oh, dude. Stop hating on the Marxist Bidenists, bro. They're real.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I'd love to talk to Vosh.
No matter who.
We should try to talk to him.
Yeah, dude. I feel like you'll get on.
Yeah.
Guys, if you are an avid listener of this YouTuber named Vosh, tell him to get on Left in the South and say, please.
I mean, I genuinely want to discuss it with him because I think he's a smart guy. Like, I really do. And, like, I think that he actually does want to see better for the world. Like, I think we talked about many moons ago on another episode. We talked about this YouTuber called Destiny, who, like, I was a pretty big fan of because I really liked how he talked to conservatives and didn't take their arguments seriously. Because at the time, I was kind of going through that phase where I was like, you know, fuck conservatives. And I'm still like that. But, like, I was thinking, like, fuck conservatives. Why do we even lend credence to their arguments? And Destiny was kind of the first person I watched that didn't do that. He was just like, yeah, if you're going to assert some bullshit without any evidence, I'm just going to dismiss it. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. But that's exactly what we should do. And so I really liked him, but he became, like, a capitalist. And, you know, now I'm not a huge fan. And I worry
when he
about
started
Bosch
this,
like,
hating lefty arc, like, it was really hard to watch him.
Yeah, really cringe. Yeah, really fucking cringe. Like, because he seems to be a very smart guy, and in my mind, like,
his ego is just really huge.
Exactly. Like he just refuses to become educated about leftism because he doesn't want to be, like, I don't know, proven wrong. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, being wrong is part of growing as a person. You know?
Yeah.
There's no reason to be embarrassed about being wrong, and he's even said things like that. So it makes me think like he's not a total lost cause. But I mean, I'm not gonna bother myself with it.
Yeah, for sure.
He's just some random YouTuber. I don't really care. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Vosh, come on the show.
Yeah, please, let's talk. But another thing that happened at DNC was Michelle Obama's speech. You know, she was picking apart Donald Trump, dude.
Did you watch the speech? I did not.
I mean, I didn't either, because the DNC like convention. I knew it was live streamed, but I just didn't want to cringe all day.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I'm not gonna.
I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a bunch of people, you know, fucking. I support Joe Biden, and you should too, because Trump, he's a bad man. We got to get him out. I know.
Orange man, worst man.
It was basically,
oh my god,
it was basically probably 4 days of that shit. So,
dude, the worst development in Orange Man bad news. By the way, did you see this fucking news segment with Noam Chomsky? Do you know who that is, by the way?
Yes, I know who Noam Chomsky is, but I haven't heard this interview.
For listeners who don't know, Noam Chomsky is like a pretty famous like a linguist, like, you know, not recording, but fucking author. Sorry, I couldn't think of that word for some reason. And he's like known for being the fucking leftists that changed everything. Like he changed the discourse in this country. Like I really don't want to understate his role in leftism because like he's one of my idols, and I love his work so much. I mean his book, what is it called? Gaza, Terror in Gaza or something. Don't quote me on the title there because it's been a while since I've read it. But like legitimately, I learned everything I know now about Israel from him. And recently, he's been saying things like, Biden or Trump is worse than Hitler. He said in an interview just yesterday, I believe, he said Trump is actually worse than Hitler himself, and every American in this country should vote for Biden.
Yeah,
because Trump is actually the worst, most dangerous human being to ever live. And voting for a neoliberal is actually better. Like, how the mighty have fallen for Noam Chomsky to say something like that, man.
Extremely based, bro. What do you mean?
No, not based, dude. Literally. If I ever say something like that, like if I become like a well-known philosopher, like I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, you know what I mean? But on the off chance I do gain success like he did, like, and if you catch me saying some shit like that, I'm giving you permission right now, vocal permission on the internet. This is recorded. This is gonna go up. I'm giving you permission to assassinate me.
Whoa.
Literally, I'm actually giving you permission to assassinate me. If I become a neoliberal like Noam Chomsky did, you can assassinate me. And I implore any jury not to convict the person if this is being played in the future now because I did it. Jury, don't convict this man. I want to die. I've become something that I hate. Thank you, and also I love everyone. Goodbye. Okay, so yeah, they'll play this clip at the jury. Yeah. You'll be fine. Just assassinate me. It's no big deal.
No, it's fine. Kill me. It's fine.
It's like the suicide box from Futurama, you know? Like,
Jesus. Yeah, hopefully it never comes to this. But, you know, I'll be ready with the loaded bullet, man, if it does.
With the Luger.
Yeah, with the fucking glizzy. Yeah.
I'm the glizzy gobbler.
You'd be globbing some fucking glizzy that night, dude. Fuck. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see the speech. Yeah. I heard it was good. I heard these libs wanted to play it like just like, oh god, I forgot who it was. But they like, yeah, we should just play the show about the speech, like, you know, on repeat for day 4 or something like that. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, cringe. Dude,
Stop, dude. You're making me
like,
cringe.
I'm not like, I don't hate Michelle Obama, but I really don't understand this like weird obsession with her. A lot of people do, like we were talking about the mommy shit earlier. A lot of people do that with Michelle.
Dude, fucking libs are weird, dude.
It's weird. It's weird. Am I wrong?
No, you're
it's
right.
Fucking weird.
They're weird.
And like, especially for like the Obamas, like they're not really great role models. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. But I wanted to ask, like, I wanted to change over to like some more COVID related news,
yes.
You know, if that's okay with you.
That is fine. Corona.
I wanted to ask you, still. Like, yeah, in case you guys didn't know, COVID is still going on.
In case you guys forgot.
Yeah, wear a mask.
It's still happening.
But so there's news recently about the Russian vaccine.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
I wanted to first mention, this isn't even on the agenda, but I wanted to bring it up. First off, there have been not rumors, like Russia has been saying they're going to send the vaccine to places like Saudi Arabia and I think maybe Iran and maybe another country. Don't quote me on that though. And saying that they're going to like donate it to them for testing, right?
Oh my god!
And which I thought was very funny, because like it sounds bad, right? It sounds fucking.
Go
bad.
ahead, try this untested vaccine. Yeah. It might work.
Of course, like I don't know how true this is. I don't know, like, because last week we mentioned a story about the vaccine, and a lot of libs were like getting upset because Putin was saying we're gonna release a vaccine without testing, and I was saying it's stupid to say that because he specifically said we're going to test it first. But now he's saying like we're going to be donating to them and they're going to like assist us with the research. But like, what does that mean exactly? Like Saudi Arabia
is the start
assisting
of a
them
fucking like a zombie virus outbreak.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
exactly.
You're gonna hear us talking next week saying like, you know, we've heard some cases in Saudi Arabia and Iran of these people just walking on the streets and they have no pulse and their eyes are glossed over and they're eating
religious
people.
minorities are suddenly disappearing from the streets of Saudi Arabia and we're not really sure what's happening to them. That'll be the first story. and then like a month later it'll be like weird illness in Saudi Arabia start. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
for real.
it's weird. But yeah, like I wanted to ask you, what do you think are the chances that the U.S. Forces its citizens to get a vaccine once the COVID vaccine is released?
Forcing?
Because recently Fauci has been saying like he doesn't think that the U.S. would ever mandate a vaccine. Do you think that that's a possibility or no?
I don't know, but they'll probably like require one for like school, like high school.
Right.
Like you have to have a
My
coronavirus.
school actually already requires you get a flu shot, which actually kind of pissed me off. Because like, does it not make you uncomfortable that the government can like mandate you getting a vaccine? Like on one hand, I want to say it's a public safety issue because I'm not an anti-vaxxer, obviously. Like everyone should get vaccines. I know, and that's why I'm trying to elaborate a little bit because it's not me denying the science of vaccines. I don't necessarily agree with the idea that the government should be able to
yearly shot, Caleb, to sedate
right,
you.
exactly.
So you love capitalism.
Like it should be, you should have the option to avoid like public interaction. Like it should. I don't think it should be like a mandate. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
Like,
Sounds
I'm definitely
like
not
you're
anti-vaxxer.
okay.
I haven't really explored this idea too much because like on one hand I agree, like if everyone got the vaccine it would obviously be better. I 100% agree with that.
I don't think they're gonna force it, but it's probably gonna be something like that. So eventually, like everyone pretty much is gonna have it.
Right, but like if you think about it, like if you
school.
say you need the vaccine to go to school, that's effectively the same thing as the government just saying everyone needs it. Like of course adults wouldn't have to get it or like whatever.
I mean, there's already vaccines that are required before, like definitely at my high school at least. I think there was like 3 vaccines I had to take before going to high school.
I think my problem with it is not the vaccine, but rather the administration that's forcing us to do it. Because honestly, like if I were the king, right, I would mandate vaccines because I think it's right to get vaccines. But my concern is like I don't trust necessarily the Trump administration or any like fascist or like liberal administration. Really.
What if it's like they put a tracker in you?
Yeah, or
like,
maybe something less dramatic than that.
This
just
guy's
like
we got
just
him.
Anything like even something as minor as like an unneeded vaccine. I feel like is kind of a violation of my personal rights. You know what I mean? Like even if necessarily the vaccine doesn't hurt me, maybe it just doesn't help me. And then like the pain of the vaccine and like the stress of going to the doctor and stuff, like that's also a cost of it as well.
Yeah, no, but wouldn't you say people could also argue, like anti-vax would argue this?
No, I agree. And that's why I'm saying like, I think that it's not the actual vaccine itself I have a problem with. It's actually
the problem with the government.
Right, yeah.
Because
like in a communist utopia, people would vote to make vaccines mandatory.
Yeah.
But it kind of makes me uncomfortable that I don't get a say. You know?
Come on, government.
Because like I would vote for it, but it's like I want to have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah,
you know
I get it. You're just worried about Trump putting a commie tracker in you. I got it.
Kind of, yeah. Like not that dramatic, but yes, exactly.
I get what you mean. It's all right, man. I know you don't think vaccines cause
whatever,
autism.
Man. Whatever.
Yes, but dude, another thing I want to talk about, Louisiana, dude. Something, this actually ties into what we were just talking about. Louisiana could require voters to prove they tested positive for COVID before voting by mail. Basically saying that if you want to vote by mail, you have to also have corona or had it.
Such a stupid, like, oh my god, bro. They're gonna, how they're gonna justify it too? Like, they're gonna say, oh, because the USPS can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to help it out, dude. Yeah, there's so much
pretty
big
right now.
Going
Everyone's
on. Like,
simping USPS right now.
Yeah, like I don't want to like drift into lib territory, but actually it is quite concerning because like the USPS is a very like important part of our society.
Huge.
Like, and I don't know,
Mail.
like it definitely makes me worried. I don't care so much about the voting. Actually, I feel like the voting is the least important part of it, really. Like the USPS is just such an important part of our society that getting rid of it would harm so many people. I think the most important part of it is medicine.
And businesses.
Yeah, and businesses. Like I don't care so much about businesses, not as much, but like I care about everything. But the thing I care most about,
it affects the
is people who are like getting things delivered that they need, and the USPS does
like
this.
medicine.
Yeah, like diabetes medicine, like insulin, right? Like people are missing medicine. Because because the USPS is not delivering it.
I'm missing my cock pills, bro. What the fuck?
Exactly.
1 week
I
late.
haven't had an erection in weeks. Like, actually,
I
my
know, but I
Cialis has
mean,
not arrived yet.
that matcha though, I've heard that it has some sexual properties. So
Uh,
can you
can confirm. Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Aren't you sipping on some matcha currently?
No, I'm actually sipping on some Bay Bridge Vineyards
Mm.
Moscato. I just took the last sip. The bottle's empty. I'm going to text my girlfriend to grab me another bottle of wine.
Ah.
Also, though,
Bottle
alcohol
of
is
wine,
bad.
woman.
Yes, bottle me.
Where's my beverage, woman? We're cutting this shit
Yeah.
out, right?
Of course.
Yes,
Anyway.
yes.
Anyway.
Okay. The next topic. The Trump campaign sues New Jersey after its decision to mail ballots in November election.
Mail ballots. What?
The Trump campaign is trying to sue New Jersey.
Why? But like, what's the suit? What are they alleging that they did? What's illegal?
I don't know, but I posted the article. The filing was made as a complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief.
Okay.
And that's it. And described the step taken by Democratic governor as illegal.
Interesting. Okay, so it's bullshit. I don't really see anything coming of this.
Yes, I just think it's
what
weird.
would be your ideal way to vote? Like, if we lived in a communist utopia, like, how would you do it?
I'd vote for my phone.
Really?
I vote for my phone. I vote for my kind of electronically PC.
Do you think it would be safe to do so?
I don't know, but like probably the best way to do is like send everyone like an iPad
Yeah.
to vote on or
Right.
something, or what if like you had a device that like was just made for voting and gave it to every citizen in their home.
And you just delivered it like to everyone's.
Yeah, like a
and it's
cheap
like a tamper-proof
pad.
thing, and like they can't
Yeah.
alter it. Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea, but I think I have something even cheaper and better though. Like I think I've actually had an idea recently, and surprisingly, it actually came up recently in the news. I think that voting by blockchain technology is actually the best possible thing. You know, like the technology behind Bitcoin? Yeah. Like, I actually think that that's the best thing because you can't cheat. It's not possible. Like, I think we discussed this on the podcast even. Like, it's literally just not possible to cheat because it's so unreasonably difficult that it will never be possible.
And I'm glad you bring this up.
Our current knowledge.
I'm glad you bring this up because people think like this isn't cheating isn't even a problem with mail-in like voting anyway right now. Like,
no.
Like the Republicans, the conservatives, they like to claim that mail-in ballots is going to destroy our democracy.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be used to to cheat and to fucking all this shit. But like the only
Classic
people who
voter
actually
suppression tactics.
The actual only people who mail voter fraud are Republicans and conservatives.
Yes.
Because there was this incident with this old lady who did it because she said, because the Mexicans were gonna do it, so I had to do it so Trump Daddy can win because I know the minorities are gonna do it.
Yeah.
And it's funny that the only actual people who do it are the fucking Republicans themselves.
I mean, that's just a fact because it's just a fact that wealthy people, period, are more likely to vote, regardless. Like it just makes sense that people who have access to the resources to understand what mail-in voting is, to even give a shit enough to apply for it.
How do I even mail shit? Who knows, dude?
Exactly. I don't even. Every single time I send a letter, I have to Google what the fucking format of addressing a letter is. Literally. I use the same. I might as well download the goddamn.
Can I mail things from my mailbox? I don't even fucking know.
You can apparently. By the way, apparently, if you put the flag up, it means that the guy's supposed to pick up the stuff and deliver it. I didn't know that.
Who fucking knows, dude? Like
exactly. How does that shit work? And it costs 10 cents to deliver that shit across the goddamn country, 1,000 miles. It's insane.
Like you need a fucking a university level education to understand the mailing system, dude.
Exactly. It's honestly astounding how well it works considering how cheap it is. And I don't know if you've seen this recent this talking point by conservatives especially talking about how the USPS loses money every year. And I wanted to mention this point because I've actually seen a lot of great posts by people online who are just normal non-politically
adult
stupid
people. Statement.
Yeah, it is really stupid, and people are saying online
Of
they're
course,
realizing.
of course, it's not making money. Like,
Exactly, because the point is we're
obvious.
spending money for the service.
It's a service.
We pay
It's
our
like,
tax
it's
money
not a
so that we have
business.
access to this thing. It's not a business. And like I've seen a lot of people online saying that, and I think that's actually such a huge step, because if you can start thinking about every service in life like that, if you just think, why don't we just treat every service like we treat the USPS? It's not about making a profit. It's about delivering something that we need to society, no matter what the cost is. And we can offset the cost using things that make money. I mean, that's just common sense, you know, not to use an overused term, but like, of course you want to have a positive flow of money so that you can continue to live your life comfortably. But not everything has to make a profit. There are some things that aren't profitable, like healthcare, for example, or like delivering mail. If you want people to have access to it, it's not going to make a profit because it's naturally very expensive. And that's why it makes sense to sacrifice that for the service. That's the basis of socialism.
Yes.
And I think that's such an important point. Have you seen people on Twitter and stuff talking about this?
Yes,
like
I see.
even libs.
Yeah, they're going off. The only boys in blue I care about are my UPS workers, man.
True. Did you know being a USPS worker is actually more dangerous than being a police officer?
I wouldn't be surprised, dude.
There are more fatalities yearly for mail delivery drivers than there are
driving.
And
like, what if someone put a bomb in their mailbox? You never know, man.
Yeah.
Anthrax.
Yeah, crazy.
In the mail. That's a common fucking tactic.
Common. Very common, dude.
But speaking of lawsuits, the latest lawsuit challenges Trump's administration of handling the census. Have you heard of this?
No, I've not heard of this. Do you have any idea?
No, I have no fucking idea. But let me just look at the article real quick, and we could find something out. The lawsuit accuses the administration of improperly rushing to complete the decennial. Decennial. That's how you pronounce that fucking word.
Yeah, every 10 years.
The population count by September 30th.
Because they're not completing it.
Yeah, because they're like, dude, the fuck, that's not enough time, probably.
Oh, I see. I mean, it's not though, considering like coronavirus is going on and stuff. I don't think people realize, by the way, how important the census actually is.
One of our friends is a census worker.
Yeah, no, that's true. And honestly, like, it's a great jobs program too. I applied for the census. Unfortunately, by the way, kind of malding about this, but they did not hire me. Even
Justin
though
got it,
I went,
but not you.
That's what I was saying, bro. Because I went in person. I talked to the representative, and they're like, "We're desperate for people." And this was before Corona even happened, because I was still working.
Did you apply before him too?
Yes, I applied in January, I think, even. And
I mean, I think it makes sense that Justin got it before you, because he lives in a smaller town and you live in Knoxville.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. But like, they told me they were so desperate. They were like, "We will literally hire anyone. We will literally suck your dick.
Get
come
in!"
Join us." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, man!
Make some money."
Exactly. And I was like, "Hell yeah!" And I never got a call back. But like, as an economist, though, the census is an invaluable tool. I have done many projects, even just as a senior, like doing entry-level economy work. I've done projects that have been where the census data has been indisposable. Like, there are times when like census data is the only thing available to analyze the thing that you're trying to investigate. You know, it's super important.
I was actually like really hyped for the census this year to be done, because I'm so curious, because we do the census every 10 years, so I haven't done it since 2010. Time.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I mean, every census is basically a sociology study in and of itself. It's extremely interesting, and I don't think people appreciate how important it is and how difficult it is actually to get and maintain a valid census. It's actually extremely difficult. Like, the work that these sociologists and data scientists do to get the census and make it work is actually incredible and super awesome. So yeah, it's really kind of fucked up.
New numbers.
Like, I don't honestly though. I just want to say, hot take. I don't really blame the Trump administration for like kind of failing at this, because the census itself was not set up to have a pandemic going on in the middle of it. Like, honestly, it's really not Trump's fault in this case. Like, of course, he should have handled the virus better. Everyone
Trump
knows
would agree with you.
Yeah, and
he literally would agree with you.
He literally would. But
yeah.
But he would be right in this case.
Yeah. he agrees so much that he thinks he even deserves a third term because the first one didn't count.
That's true, dude. I saw him saying that. That's so fucking funny to me. He's still talking about that Obama shit. Like Obama, like
they spied on me.
Literally, it never happened. It literally never happened.
Fucking
There was a
God.
whole investigation for this shit, and it was just proven to be false. And it's like that was
I wouldn't be
5 years
surprised
ago.
if people were spying on him, like it's our own government,
Oh, I mean,
the
of
FBI.
course.
Like, of course,
Yeah.
they're gonna be, spying on a campaign.
They spy on everyone, though.
Just to see what the fuck's going on. Yeah, like, of course, like someone's was recording you.
Yeah. And now that he's president, he should know. Like he should
He's
know
like,
not
so
to bring it
FBI,
up.
did you guys, what do you got?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
fuck. Because
Like,
isn't
he
it coming
should
out like
realize,
the
like-
Russian collusion? Like, yeah, everyone knew, and it's true. Like, isn't that coming out right now?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Well,
fresh.
because like we already knew that, but we have to rehash it every week because like people are like, oh, literally everyone knows. I mean, they're right. I'm not saying they're wrong. Like it is fucked up. Literally everyone knows that they did it, and they're still getting away with it. But I mean, it's like
Now Russia's just openly
rehash
doing
every
it.
single week. Yeah, exactly. Like
Now Russia's like, yeah,
like-
we're trying to help Trump win. What of it?
But here's the thing, like I'm kind of not really susceptible to that argument because like we openly do it as well, and it does kind of annoy me
Yeah,
that
I
like
mean,
libs
like-
don't admit to that, you know?
We have our hand everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And like we kind of even discuss, like we're proud of it even.
Hmm.
Like we pretend like it's a good thing. Like our imperialism is somehow righteous. Like at least Russia has the self-awareness to fucking try to hide it and pretend like they're not doing it because they know it's
We're not
bad.
taking Ukraine. Wink, wink.
Exactly. Like they know that it would look bad if they do it. We just pretend like it's good. I feel like that's worse. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But hey, man, America.
Proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free.
I think it's funny though. It's like I should get a third term. You know, the first one didn't count, guys. Everyone was clowning on me during the first one.
Do you think Republicans would go as far as to like support him in a third term, or do you think that would be too far?
It probably did. Like the
Probably
reason
too
why, no, probably the reason why I think is because like the reason why like we hate Republicans, we hate conservatives, even though there might be like good, like quote unquote good Republicans, like good conservatives, is because they hide these fascists in their midst, and they don't fucking care, bro.
Right.
It's because they can use conservatism, republicanism as a fucking veil for their fucking fascism.
Exactly.
That's why I hate these people.
Exactly. I hate them because they're never honest. Like the beliefs that they fight for are just a step towards the direction of the thing
just
that
say
they
you hate
actually-
black people.
Exactly.
Just say you hate
Like
minorities.
because they know it's unpopular and they know it wouldn't work to just blatantly say the things that they want. So they have to slowly inch away. And I hate liberals because they don't realize that. Like I hate conservatives because they do it, and I hate liberals for allowing it to happen.
True.
Like it's so obvious, and like we've been slowly drifting, well, arguably not even slowly, we've been quickly drifting to the right over time, you know.
Yeah.
And
The
it's just
middle's
never
no
gonna
longer
stop.
in the middle.
Right.
It's
Yeah. I actually brought this
far
up with one
from
of my
that.
liberal professors, by the way, and I
Mm.
was asking about this very thing, and he was like a really, really smart political scientist that I thought was like a genius, and I still think he's a really talented and smart guy. But I asked him about this concept, and he was like, you know, honestly, I think we're drifting more towards like the truth. Because there's no such thing as like a true sinner. And I was like, I agree with that, but people I was like asking him what his opinion was on the fact that like over time Democrats have become considerably more conservative, because it was a class about American political history. And he was saying like, I don't think it's that Democrats are becoming more conservative. I think it's just that Democrats in the past were overly like he used the word liberal, but he really means leftist. And I was just like, oh jeez, man. Like there's like literally people out there who think that Democrats are like leftists, you know? Like Democrats are like radical leftists.
You know, fuck the Dems for wanting to, to stop Jim Crow, man. That's too fucking radical, dude.
Right, yeah. Right, yeah. They want to stop Jim Crow by imposing a new and improved Jim Crow with, like, I don't know, Christmas lights on it. And like people are like, that's radical, literally, dude.
Yeah, man. We should,
I don't know, man.
the Republicans should just, let fucking black people stay slaves, I guess, or something.
I guess, man. I guess.
Like,
damn, guys, we're just playing politics. You know,
if
like,
anything,
we let them keep the slaves this year,
I can't believe that's
and next year they give us universal health care.
I can't believe that's a take. I feel like wouldn't we be more progressive now than like ever in the past? Or
I
no?
think that we are more progressive now, but people are like implying that progressiveness is somehow a product of a degenerating society, you know? Like people are implying that this new progressiveness that people are enjoying is actually somehow a bad thing. And if we don't stop it now, it'll never stop. And like that's the excuse.
We must go back to the old ways.
Right. Exactly. And I don't understand this proclivity to like return to monk. You know what I mean? Like why is it that we can't just progress in a forward direction? Dude, people are so obsessed with the past.
They just want to go back to the caves, man. They want to go out.
I'm down to return to monk. I mean,
hunter gatherer.
It is what it is.
The wife stays at home. She nurtures for the kids. You know, obviously one of them dies during the winter, but it is what it is.
Hey, you had 3 others, so it's fine. Yeah, 3 out of 4 is not bad, man. I don't know, man. It's so telling that often like people who talk about when, like, you know, Trump's famous slogan, "Make America Great Again." Like you can ask people like, when exactly was America great? It's so telling that when people say like, you know, the 1940s, the 1950s, like, you know, before minorities had rights, before women.
These fucking nuclear family LARPers, bro. I'm tired.
Literally,
of it,
man.
I'm tired of it.
It's just so telling. Like just say that you hate black people and women. What's the problem, man? Like, just say it.
Like something about those times were just so charming.
I can't quite put my finger on it.
Like things were cleaner. Things
pre-civil rights.
The air was fresher. I don't know.
Yeah. Just
grass was greener.
I don't know. Like it makes me like so upset because to me it's obvious that they're doing this. But there's so many people that should be on my side that can't see it for some reason. Like they genuinely think like, oh no, these people aren't racist. They don't mean bad by it.
Come on.
It's like, yes, they do. they do. They really do. And I'm sorry. But in it, I know it hurts because every leftist has gone through this fucking phase where you start to realize like, oh, this is all bullshit. These people actually are just terrible. They are evil. They are bad. They're not just doing their best. They're doing evil on purpose.
Yes.
Everyone goes
even
through
if
that
they
phase.
may be blind to it.
Exactly. And it hurts. I agree. It sucks. But once you get through that, you'll start to realize like there are things we can do to stop it.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of actually doing those
and
things.
Truly some of these people are like, you can't save them.
Yes.
Because it's been rooted into them so fucking hard that like you would have to break them fucking down into atoms and restructure them once again. You know, it's like it's impossible to change these people's minds because it's part of them now.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is try, I guess, but I definitely agree.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, you know, rehabilitation, triple parentheses. Well, I want to get to one last thing, you know, maybe 2 more last things, but very close to ending this episode. I want to talk about, you know, fucking Jeffrey Epstein, bro, our little island man. So some photos came out of Bill Clinton receiving a massage from one of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers.
I saw this.
Very fucking weird. Might I
very
add.
Suspect. I'm not gonna lie.
Suspect.
Yes, very sus.
Like who just like give me a massage. Like were they in an airport? Like and who's taking the photo
that you were in
and
a
why?
Plane, David, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say you're in a plane and you're with your friend. Like let's say you're with me, okay?
Yeah.
Just to be fair. And like and I'm like, hey, bro, like, is it you want a massage, man? I got like a professional masseuse, all right? And you're like, yeah, of course, fuck yeah, man. It's a first class flight, hell yeah, man. What a nice thing to do.
Living large.
And then I bring out a 13-year-old girl, and I'm like, and she's like wearing like a skimpy outfit, and I like, go to town, babe. And like I smack her ass. Like, how would you react if you're not a pedophile rapist?
I would be definitely like, I would be like, what the fuck, dude?
Literally, right?
Oh my
like,
God.
there's no situation where like even like I love you, man. Like you know that I love
Yeah.
you. You're like one of my best friends.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, bro. If I'm on a plane with you and you're doing some shit like that with me, I'm not cool with it, bro. Like, there's no. I don't understand how people
have
can
to stop
defend
you.
this. Yes, like
stop you right there.
like maybe I would give you the benefit of the doubt because I'm
Yes.
your friend, but like I'm definitely not gonna
We
just
can save you,
excuse
Caleb.
that.
You know.
Yeah,
You
like
may
I'm
be
definitely
into
not
children
just gonna...
now, but we can fix you.
Yeah, like I'm not just gonna brush it off like nothing happened. There's no excuse for that. There's no way to defend that.
Yeah, it's very fucking
I don't
weird.
know, man. The
Very
photo
fucking
evidence
weird.
too, bro. Do you think anything will happen? Like, I guess he can't be like arrested for it because it's been
I don't
so
know.
long. Right?
I think Ghislaine Maxwell was like saying like, you know, I've told you everything I've known, and like she's saying that she's going through like trauma because of talking about this shit. She's being monitored by a prison psychologist.
What if she is innocent? Like, what if she actually is like not a rapist, like, you know, like a pedophile or rapist? You know. Like, I mean, she probably is.
Even if she did, like, let's say she didn't, like, you know, touch any of these kids or fucking fucked any of these kids, right? Like, she still allowed it to happen and it helped in the progress.
She knew about it the whole time, and she definitely was involved, whether or not it was like violent or like rape or anything like that. She was definitely involved, at least aware.
But who knows, dude? Like, maybe she was fucking, you know. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, I kind of have to do it. I mean, these people are like the richest people in the fucking world. You know, like,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Are you like, you know, it's like, it's kind of like a movie scenario. Like, you're never fucking safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a blackmail scenario. You know, like he had pictures. You know, like you fuck a kid, you don't realize they're a kid, and you're like, well, shit. Now he has dirt on me. I guess, you know, I'm gonna, you know, not say anything, and then. I don't know, or maybe you're just into kids, you know, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck kids."
A lot of these rich people are into kids.
Yeah,
that book is huge.
Do you think like the mind of a capitalist and the mind of like a child abuser somehow overlap? Because they definitely seem to.
Yeah, dude, they love the power.
Yeah, I guess the power dynamic, man. Right?
I mean, there was that one Star Trek episode all those days ago where like that guy, like, you know, he came back and he's like in the future, right? And he's like super fucking old, and he's like, wait, like what's like, because you know, fucking Star Trek is space communism essentially.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, he's like, so like, you know, because he literally admitted, he's like, I fucking love the power, the control over people. He's like, bro, it's not like that anymore. We got space communism. Bro,
it's 2020. We're sucking and fucking each other now. Like, get with the programs, bro.
Yeah, they fucking love the power. But the last thing,
honestly, like, speaking of fucking kids,
fucking kids. Oh my god, of course.
Yeah.
Netflix. So, you got some explaining to do.
I don't. God, I'm not. I don't know if we're ready for this topic. I don't know if we as a show are ready for this topic, bro. But like, I don't know. What have you heard about this Netflix new movie called, what is it called? Cuties.
Honestly,
right?
Honestly, I haven't looked into it at all because I'm too scared of being put on a list. To be watched for watching like the Cuties trailer, dude. So all I've heard is like a little bit, you know, it's like the cover, you know, like they're fucking sexualizing these 11-year-old fucking kids, making them wear these like skimpy, like the twerking competition, like what the fuck, and like I think it's so fucking hilarious. It's like sorry, we'll change the images, we'll change the description. Like, by the way, did you guys know that this won an award in France, right? Like, come on, guys. Like, you know, the France's, you know, fucking age, you know, was 13, like, you know, like 20 years ago. But
literally, it actually was though. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Jesus. It's an interesting scenario because I think on one hand, it's like, yes, sexualizing children in this way is bad. It's kind of weird and stupid and cringe. But it's literally a product. It's so ironic. There's so many levels of irony here because like people on Twitter are saying like why are they sexualizing kids on a show, on a movie? And by the way, if you don't know, the movie is about how sexualizing kids is bad. That's what the movie's about. That is literally what the movie's about. It's about how sexualizing kids, like making them like dance and do provocative sexual shit, is kind of weird, champ. And like, it's weird how our culture is like very accepting of like overly sexualizing children for money. And I agree with that. But then like libs are taking it to mean like, oh, any form of like sexuality for children is bad, which is also not true. And also saying things like, oh, it makes you a pedo for like making a movie about sexualizing children, which is also fucking stupid.
Yeah, because it
so
seems
many
like
dumb takes.
yeah, because it seems like then this like no one can ever explore the sexual awakening of like an adolescent, coming of age, right?
Exactly. To say that children don't experience sexuality is to admit that you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. It's absolutely stupid. Like it's true that we don't want children to feel the consequences of experiencing real sexuality when they're young, because we all agree that people don't necessarily make the best choices when they're young, and we want to protect them from the potential consequences. I agree with all of that. But making art has no consequences. If you're making art to display a reality in life, there are no victims. You're simply exploring a topic that is a reality of life. It doesn't make it bad. Exploring like having like, I don't even think showing like nudity or like sex scenes between children potentially couldn't even be like necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that we should allow it, because I don't want to normalize that. But like in theory, artistically, it could be appropriate. It's the context that matters.
Yes.
I think that protecting children is the utmost importance. So like if it's true that banning that kind of stuff is for the better, then I say ban it. It's fine. But I don't necessarily think that any depiction of childhood sexuality is bad,
Yes, and I want to stop before we continue this discussion any further to any of those goddamn fucking libs that think like maps or like these, people who are like kids and like little kids, but they're 30,
Yeah.
Like, stop that shit right now. Stop. Like,
stop.
Like, that shit
Stop.
is like, I'm willing to, talk about like if pedophiles are like in the same nature of like, like being gay, if there's like a spectrum, like
right.
maybe like, but I don't think we're there yet. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of the people are there.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like there's a difference between normalizing pedophilia and normalizing assaulting children. There's a difference between those two things, like normalizing the idea that some people are attracted to children, I think is totally fine, because it's a reality of the world, and some people are attracted to children.
Because like, what if it's like gay people? I'm sure people thought like, oh, being gay, like, how dare you? Like, there's something wrong with you. Like,
exactly.
Could we apply this to people who like children? Like,
yes, I think so.
Yeah, like,
why not, right?
Yeah, but like, I don't think people are ready for that.
It's not the morality of the attraction that's the problem. It's the morality of engaging in that, of indulging yourself in that attraction. That's the problem, because we all agree that children can't consent to sex. It's just a fact. I mean, morally speaking, they don't have the awareness necessary to consent to that. It's not possible. And we all agree with that. If you're a moral person, you agree with that. And therefore, pedophilia can't be acted upon. But just because you're attracted to children doesn't mean you're necessarily a child rapist. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, you were saying like the maps thing, I've seen so much of that. Like, people are trying to normalize assaulting children as if it's the same thing as being gay. I think that's like a right-wing fucking sleeper cell agent. I think that's a real
the whole
thing.
map shit like was like a 4chan thing. Where, like,
I'm pretty sure it's like a false flag.
Where they wanted to troll the LGBTQ community by like saying like, oh yeah, like pedophiles, like they're just like us, and like you had to normalize this like weird ass shit. And like
they're trying to point out the absurdity.
Some of these woke people, bro, they're like, oh yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. Like the 4chan people are trying to imply that, oh, if we're gonna let gay people be part of society, why not just let pedophiles? Because they're comparing the two. But that's obviously wrong. Like, but there is a comparison to be made. They accidentally stumble into a truth, which is that you don't necessarily choose who you're sexually attracted to. That's true. But they add on another part, which is that normalizing gay sex is the same thing as normalizing sex with children, which is absolutely not true. And so I think that like having empathy and understanding and be willing to converse and work with someone who has attraction to children, I think that's a good thing. But normalizing sex with children is obviously stupid, and I don't think that anyone actually does it. I think that David's right. It's like a 4chan thing. I don't think that's a real thing. So don't preoccupy your time like defending that, or attacking that. I don't think it's worth your time. Yeah, it's a fake thing.
Yeah, but the Netflix Cuties shit. What's our final judgment? No,
I'm probably gonna watch it.
You're probably gonna watch it.
Really? I'm gonna watch it now because like that's the thing. Is like another thing we didn't even talk about this, but like honestly, the ultimate layer of irony is the fact that this movie has gained enormous amounts of media attention from the sexualizing of children, which is the exact message of the opposite of the film that is actually being advertised in this case.
I don't know, like just the title is just kind of weird. Maybe it was called something else, and like if it was called something else and like they didn't choose these certain images, and like the way they used the description, it's mostly on Netflix as well, I'm sure.
Do you think that having that sexualization of children, do you think that that's necessarily like a bad thing?
But that was like the
because the movie itself is about
the selling, but like how they were trying to sell is like, oh yes, this 11-year-old girl like finds her sexuality and like the twerking competition.
But you can't watch the movie and then come out of it thinking
but you have to realize that
that's a good thing.
Anybody who sees, like, they're going to see that description and they're going to see the pictures before they even see the movie, right? So they already have a they're like, okay, I kind of get what the movie's about. It's about this weird-ass pedophile shit. And because that's, like, the first thing that they're saying, like, why are they trying to, like, pull to a pedophile audience, right? Like,
I guess, yeah.
You know, maybe if it was called something else, maybe the description was different. Maybe if the pictures were different, it wouldn't have blown up like it did. But Netflix definitely had some fault in, some bad PR for the movie.
I don't think it was an accident though. That's the thing. Like,
maybe it wasn't. I mean, like definitely, like coming from Netflix, like maybe it was on purpose. I even considered that. Like, what if they did this on purpose just to for this outrage?
Why not? Because it's really a good message. How do you
how do you let who fucks this up? Like it has to like pass by like a couple people and one person was like, this is kind of weird, guys. Like Then what they probably told him is like, this movie won an award, right? In France is what they told them. Yeah. Or him or her, whoever this person is. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
But hey, I'm all off fucking topics. It's been a long episode. Probably gonna have to cut out some of this shit.
That's all right, man. Nobody's missing anything.
But maybe unedited full version Patreon. Who knows?
Who knows?
But with that, that's been episode 30 of the Left in the South podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.